By the way, the instructions say shade for extra points. So if you want to, you can shade this, but it's only extra points. And reduce each answer if possible. You will have to reduce quite a bit. We start off on this one and we'll work our way down. Okay, 4 and 2, they both go into 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. All right, so I have my common denominator is 4. I'm going to add both my, if I want to, I can bring this over. I'm going to add my numerators, 1 and 2 makes 3. So I have 3/4. 5 and 2 is 7. 7 and 3/4. And then you want to check inside the box to make sure that there is a 7 and 3/4 in there. And there is one right there. So our answer is correct. Next one going down, 5 and 8 both go into 40. And I know that 5 times 8 is 40. So I'm going to put the 8 up there. 3 times 8 is 24. And down below here, 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 5 is 25. So 40 is the common denominator. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my numerators, 24 and 25. This adding, that's going to be 49. Hey, you know what? That can be reduced. That's the same thing as 40 goes into there once with 9 left over. Okay, now I have 3 and 3, that's 6. So if I add this together, 6 and 1 and 9/40, my answer is 7 and 9/40. Because 6 and 1 9/40 makes 7 and 9/40. Okay, the next one is a subtraction, and it has a star right there. That means we're going to borrow. So 5 and 15 both go into 15. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, I'm just going to bring this down here, carry it over. And notice I cannot do 6 minus 11, so I have to borrow. So I will. I'll borrow from this 10. That's now a 9. And I'm going to borrow a great big 1. Okay, and if I borrow a great big 1, this now becomes 15 times 1 plus 6. The new numerator is, so basically just adding these two together. 15 and 6 is 21. Times 1 plus 6 is 21. Now I can go ahead and subtract. All right, 21 minus 11. Okay, our denominator is 15. 21 minus 11 is 10. Oh, that can be reduced. 10 15ths, because I know that 5 goes into both of those. 5 goes into 10 twice. 5 goes into 15 3. Okay, now look at my whole numbers. 9 minus 0 is just 9. So I have 9, and then I have, then I have 2/3. So the answer is 9 and 2/3. Okay, I'm going to continue going down. Again, we have another subtraction problem. So we have common denominator is 5. And I know that 5 times, it's 10. 5 and 10 both go into 10. This should be 10. My bad. So 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. See, I use the same number when I'm multiplying. And over here, I'm just going to carry it over. Bring it over. So my common denominator is 10. And I cannot do 1 minus 6. All right? I need to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from here. That's now a 5. I'm borrowing 1, a great big 1. Okay? And then a shortcut to this is simply to add these together. 10 and 1 makes 11. 11 tenths. Times 1. 10 times 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Okay, now I can go ahead and subtract. 11, take away 6, because I'm minusing. 11 minus 6 is 5. Of course it's 5, because they want us to reduce. 5 tenths is 1/2. And then 5 minus 0 is just 5. So you have 5, and then 1/2. Okay, going down again. common denominator that these will both fit into, 8 and 10, they both fit into 40. You could use 80, but that'd just be higher numbers. You'd have to reduce more. Okay, so let's see here. I have 8 times 5 is 40. So 3 times 5 is 15. And here, 10 times 4 is 40. 7 times 4 is 28. Now all I have to do is just add the top numbers together, the numerators. 15, because it's in adding. 15 and 28. What's that make? 30, 43. 43. And so you have 43 over 40. Well, that can be reduced because 40 goes in there. 40 goes in there one time with 3 left over. So this is 1 and 3/40 because 40 goes in there once and 3 more. And over here I have 4 and 2. Well, that's 6. So you know what? If I put the 6 and the 1 and 3/40 together, that would make 7 and 3/40. And I see one of those answers in there. Okay, next one. This is a borrowing problem. Different color here. Get tired of that color. So let's see, I have 6 and 9. 6 and 9. Well, they both go into 18. Okay, that's our common denominator. So let's see here. I have 9 times 2 is 18. So 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, and this one right here, to get 18 I have to multiply by 3. 6 times 3 is 18. So on the top, 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, we're going to have to borrow because we cannot do, this is subtraction. We cannot do 10 minus 15. That would be a negative number. So I'm going to have to borrow this. That's 8. Borrow a big 1. So what's that going to leave me with then? 18 and 10 is 28. So now I can subtract. How did I get 28? Because 18 times 1 plus 10 is 28. Or just add them together. Okay, so now I need to take 28 minus 15. 28 minus 15 is 13, I believe. Does that make sense? 15, oh wait, 15, 10, 25, yeah, 13. 13 18ths. And then over here I have 8 minus nothing is just 8. So 8 and 13 18ths. And let me just double check my answer. Yep, that's correct. Okay, so now I'm going to go sideways here, zooming out a little bit. So I'm going to go down this row, and then this one for the last. Okay, it's another subtraction problem. Addition problem, what am I saying here? Okay, 2 and 3, they both go into 6. All right, well, I know that 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3. So now that I have my numerators, I just need to add those together. Well, 3 and 4 makes 7. Hey, wait, that can be reduced. 7, 6. 7, 6 is the same thing as 6 goes into 7 once with 1 left over. 1 and 1, 6. And then I have a 5 over here. So 5 and 1 and 1, 6 makes 6 and 1, 6. Because a 5 and 1 makes 6. And that's the answer. Next one, common denominator. Again, this is a subtraction problem. It looks like I'm at the borrow. 10 is a common denominator. 5 times 2 is 10. And 1 times 2 is 2. I can't do 2 minus 3, so I have to borrow a great big 1. So I'll do that. This is now a 7. I'm borrowing a big 1. So now, instead of a 2 tens, 10 and 2, it's 12. 10 and 2 is 12. That's my new top number. So I have 10 and 3. I'm subtracting. 10 minus 3 is 9. So this is 9 tenths. And 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. So it's 3 and 9 tenths. It's an addition problem. 10's a common denominator. I'll just leave that there. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the 6 and the 3. 6 and 3 is 9. So that's 9 tenths. And 7 and 1 is 8. So the answer is 8 and 9 tenths. Okay, now I'm going to go back up to this problem. Okay, common denominator is 6. 3 and 6 both go into 6. And I have 3 times 2 is 6. So 1 times 2 is 2. I can't do 2 minus 5. I'll have to borrow. So when I borrow, this is now a 6. And I'm borrowing a great big 1. This is subtraction. That's why I need to borrow. So now my new numerator, the top number here, is just add them together. 6 and 2 makes 8. It's just 8. So now I can go ahead and subtract. Denominator 6. I'll do 8. Take away 5 is 3. 3 6. Hey, 3 6, that's the same thing as 1/2. And then I have 6 minus nothing. So my answer is going to be 6. And then my fraction part is 1/2. Okay, going down. 3 and 5, they both fit into 15. So 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. All right, so now I just need to add my numerators together. 10 and 12 is 22. Okay, that can be reduced because 15 goes into 22. It goes in there once, and how many left over? Let's see, 15, 20 makes 5, 6, 7. So it's 7. It's kind of sloppy here, but that's 1 and 7/15. Now if I look over here, I have 5 and 3, that's 8. So 8 and 1 makes 9 and 7/15. Okay, go down again. This is a subtraction problem. It's got that star right there. It's hard to see, so that means we're going to have to borrow. I'm just giving you a heads up. 8 and 4 both go into 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, I'm going to need to borrow a great big 1. So this is now a 9. I'm borrowing a 1. Okay, you know my denominator is going to be is 8. So let's see, what's my new numerator going to be? Well, just add these together. 8 and 2 is 10. Now I can subtract. Remember subtraction. That's why I had to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7. So I have 7/8. And then 9 minus nothing is just 9. So the answer is 9, and that's a 7, 7/8. Okay, I'm now going to go back up to the top here. It's the last column going down. It is borrowing. That's why I put a star right there, just so you know it's subtracting. All right, 6 and 4 both go into 12. You could put 24, but you're just going to end up with larger numbers and have to reduce more. So let's see what we have. We have 4 times 3 is 12. So 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 2 is 12. So 5 times 2 is 10. I now need to add my numerators together. So I have 9 and 10 together makes 19. Hey, you know what? 12 can go into 19. Not evenly, but 12 goes into 19 one time, and how many left over? 7. 7 left over. And then I have 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. So I have 5, and then I have 1 and 7/12. So 5, 6, and 7/12. So the answer is 6 and 7/12. Okay, going down. One more, 2 more to go. Okay, this is subtraction. Common denominator is 9. 3 and 9 both go into 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. Hey, I do not have to borrow because that's a 3 and that's a 2. I can subtract 3 minus 2 and end up with a positive number. 3 minus 2 is 1. All right, and 7 minus 3 is 4. So this was subtraction without any borrowing. Okay, last one. See, 11 and 22 will both go into 22. So 11 times 2 is 22. 5 times 2 is 10. Now I'll just add my numerators together. 10 and 13 makes 23. I'm sorry for the sloppiness. 22 can go into 23, so that can be reduced. 22 goes in there one time with 1 left over. All right, and then I have 6 and nothing. The 6, and so then I have 6, and then I have 1 more, so that makes 7, and 1 over 22. Okay, so hopefully you found this helpful and it cleared up any confusion you might have had.